Hello guys, this is going to be my first God Guide on Smite.
Aries.
It's going to be on Aries. Um, this god is, loads of new players pick Aries, so I thought this would be a good start. Because when I first started playing, Aries was a popular pick in Arena, as if it's all.
No mercy!
Let me just get my notes up real quick. Alright, so first things first about Aries. He is a
Minions have
guardian, he's
spawned.
magical, which means his base stats are gonna be tankier than, say, a hunter or a mage because he's a guardian. Start off with his passive. For each completed aura item, Ares gets 30 magical power. An aura item is an item like Voidstone,
No one can handle this.
an item that affects other people or players. Is typically an aura item. So when you build like stuff like Voidstone, you're going to gain power. Now, I wouldn't say it's necessary to buy aura items on Ares. It does quite a lot of damage, base damage as it is. But then again, I'll get to the builds later on. His passive is fairly basic. There's not really much to talk about on that. The first things first is his chains. Let me just pull it up for you. Chains extend from Ares' shield, doing damage to all enemies in its path. Hitting a god shackles them to Ares, couples them preventing movement abilities, dealing the same damage every second while slowing them by 15% and buffing Ares. That doesn't sound very straightforward because the wording's a bit fucked. But I'll explain what that means. While shackled, Ares can fire another chain for free within 2 seconds. For free means that he won't cost him a single
That will make
bit of
them
mana on the second
scream.
one. Alright, let's reduce cooldown. Alright, first things first about the chains. You can fire up to 3.
No escape.
You can fire up to 3 chains, only if he hits a god. Hitting a minion does not mean that doesn't mean that you can cast another chain. It needs to be a god. Right. Loads of new players do this.
No escape. No escape.
Spam chaining. Spam chaining does literally nothing. People think it does more damage when you spam chain.
No escape.
But
No
the thing
escape.
is, it doesn't increase the damage. The chains increase the duration of the ticks. So when you spam chain like
No
this,
escape. No escape. No escape.
that is going to do like 8 ticks, like 8 seconds worth of damage. Or if you do it like this, oh, I fucked up.
No escape.
And I do this out.
No escape.
When you do like that, you get the full duration of the ticks, meaning you do more damage. A typical rule of thumb to get all 3 chains as max duration as possible is by doing 2 auto attacks between each chain.
No escape. No escape.
That ensures and gives you, because roughly 1 auto attack costs 1 second, right? And you have 2 seconds to fire the next chain. So that's just a beginning staple for a newer player Ares, is to auto attack between them. Obviously, you'll get used to him eventually, where you can just do it like
No
this.
escape. No escape.
You just know from timing in your brain for how many times you've done it. You don't need to do the autos, but I recommend doing them if you're close to a god because it's extra damage.
No escape.
And those auto attacks, they topple on top of each other and do quite a bit of damage. Number 3 is his chains can go through walls, meaning you don't need to be in in the area of the god, so you can do it over the walls, which is very useful to know, because you might be able to do some really good trick shots with it in the future. If like someone's running away from you and they get behind a wall, say On Her puts his pillar up, if you know what On Her pillar is, you can chain through the pillar. So you can't use it to block the chains. Her chain hit increases Ares' attack speed. Now you see the bottom left. I want you to look at the bottom left of the screen. There's a little running guy. There's 431. That's my movement speed.
No escape.
God, I chain, gives me movement speed, 15% movement speed. Has to be a different god. You can't do the same one to get an extra benefit. Has to be the same god. I mean different god. To get the extra 15% per chain. Chains of a certain range. This is 55 units. And if the enemy runs away, or you're further away from the god, it's up to 65 units, the chain snaps like so. Most of the time, chain won't snap, only if you're doing like very long range chains, because the chains themselves, they slow, which means they can't really get away without beating and jumping away. So most of the time, this doesn't happen, but sometimes you chain someone and you see the entire team, you just want to run away. Chains will snap, they don't linger. The slow is by 15%. Now that is not per chain. Like adding multiple chains doesn't increase the slow, I don't think. I haven't tested that, probably should have done that, but I don't think it does. I think it's just straight up 15%, no matter how many chains you have on them.
No escape.
That's all for the chains, really. His ass is, if you hit the chains on Ares, and you are a real threat, because they do a lot of damage. What's the scaling? I think it's 75%. This is 5%. Roughly 7.5% of my power. Up to 10 ticks, 75%, yeah, makes sense. So that's 75% of your magical power, that's quite a lot of damage. And his base stats aren't bad at all. His level 1 chain doesn't do that much damage, but when he reaches level 2, his level 2 chain does quite a bit. Right, bolster defenses. This is interesting. Ares strengthens the defense of himself and all nearby allies, granting protections, HP 5, and reducing crowd control durations for each shackled enemy. The protection buffs are increased. Right. So, set my level to 20. So I can just max out my abilities here. Just get a blink so this doesn't show on the screen all the time. So, as you can see, bottom left, you'll see a shield and a circle icon. They're your protections. The shield is the physical protections, and the circle shield on fire is the magical protections. You get 40 at max rank on bolster defensives to each protection, which is actually pretty good. But if you chain someone like this, you gain an extra 7 protections per chain god. As you can see, 120. Let's just remove it until it goes to 8, yeah.
Hold the line!
120,
No escape.
chain someone, you gain extra protection.
No escape!
It has to be different gods.
No escape!
Has to be different gods. Can't be the same gods. You only get the benefit if you do each unique god. Kind of like the movement speed you get from his one, from his chains. Now you can shield before you chain.
No escape!
But I recommend shielding after your chains, so when you pop your shield, it lasts longer with the buff. With the oh, you could do it before, either one. Sorry, you don't get a longer buff, sorry, I mean, if you do the chains first, you can straight away get the protections. But then again, if you shield before, then you get the protections anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Now is 2. Let me take some damage for you. As you can see on my my green bar, 21.4 plus 21.4, that is HP5. HP5 is health per 5 seconds. So I get 21.4 health per 5 seconds. Is 2 gives him HP5, which means if you're low on health, pop your 2 if you're not going to use it for anything important, just to sustain yourself back up. In a sense, it's healing. In a sense, I think, because anti-heal items do affect HP5, so it is basically healing. Also, his 2 gives CCR up to 30%. I think CCR caps at 50 or 40? Yeah, 40. As you can see there, protection / CC 40, that's his cap. This gives you 3/4 of the cap, and this affects all the gods around you on your team. So if I change team real quick, sorry, I don't really use jungle practice much. As you can see, the Odin bots have a little symbol around them, which means they're getting protections and HP5 and CCR on it too. CCR is basically when you take stun. Say, for instance, Anubis's Mummify is 2. When he wraps you, I think it does 2 seconds at max rank. If you have this active, it does 30% less duration on the wrap. So it'll be like 1.4 seconds instead of 2 seconds. One thing to know, there's a thing called Diminishing Returns in this game. For each CC you take, the next one is just naturally less. So if you get stunned for 2 seconds and someone else stuns you after that, it'll be less than the stun. It'll be less time, essentially. So if someone stuns you for 2 seconds and the next stun is supposed to be 2 seconds, it won't be because Diminishing Returns comes to play. I'm not really good at explaining that sort of stuff. I think Duke Sloth has a video on it that you could look up. That's it for his 2 really. Protections, HP 5 and CCR. Now his 3 is Syrian Flash. It does 5% of a minion's health per second, or per tick, sorry, not per second, they're different things. Per tick is 0.5 seconds for the 3, for Syrian Flash anyway. Which means every 0.5 seconds to 4 seconds, which is 2, 4, 6, 10 ticks. Is it 10 ticks? 2, 4? No, it's 8 ticks. Sorry, I can't do math. 8 ticks will do 5% of the minion's health. Oh yeah, shit, I forgot. As you can see, there's 2 numbers, 14 and 35. 35 is the damage, and the 14 is the minion's health. That's 5% of the minion's health. This does not apply to Gold Fury. This will only do the damage of the ability, not the percent damage. Does not apply to Gold Fury, and thus does not apply to Fire Giant. If it did, it would be broken as fuck. I need to change the team for this next point. Right. Ares is free. Need to make a point real quick. It knocks back minions. As you can see, you can push the minions. During this time, they can't hit you, they can't fire any arrows, meaning that, say if you're taking archer aggro, for instance, from hitting the enemy god with shackles, and you're trying to run away, it's good to note that you can always flame the minions so they can't hit you. This Ares' clear is really good at level 1. He used to be really bad until they buffed him, I think a couple of years ago. I mean, he can clear buff camps super quick. So as a normal start for Ares, you'll get your free. Getting your chains is not recommended, unless you're doing like a cheesy invade strat, and you need to slow. But most times you want to go your 3. Your 3 does a lot of damage. You want to group them up, so they all take the damage, and that's really quick for a Guardian's clear early game. That's like Kabrakan's got good clear with his 3. Ymir's got good clear with his passive and his 2. Ares is up there with really good camp clear. Also, during his 3 he can't be knocked back. If you know on her, he has his 2, which is an impale. That's a knockback, and this, you can't knock it back. You can knock it up though, I'm pretty sure. Just checking if there's anything else I missed through my notes. Right, let's go to the main reason people pick Ares. Well, I mean, one of the top reasons anyway. So, Ares is no escape. Basically, you throw out chains to the gods that are in your range, and after I think 2.5 seconds, they get pulled and they get stunned to your location. So like this. Oh yeah, I forgot. Odin bot doesn't move. I thought he moved, but they don't. I mean, these two move, but those over there don't move. Just pull a bot up here. Let's go Neef.
Have you now?
As you can see, she got stunned when she got pulled, because that's what happens when you pull someone, they get stunned. Now, one thing to note is, you can't pull, if someone has an item like Magi's Blessing,
Now I'm ready for battle.
this item, any hard CC negates it, gets rid of the bubble. Meaning, if you try and pull someone with this bubble, they won't be pulled unless they get CC'd by a hard CC before the pull happens. So that same goes for beads, or as people know, purification beads. Old players call it beads. I mean, I think it was called beads, or was it purification? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. When someone beads your pull, they don't get pulled. I mean, they have to beat at the right time. Like if they beat too soon, they still get pulled. If they beat at the right time, they won't get pulled. Or get CC immuned in any form. So like Ra rule, on her rule is CC immune. If he casts that during the pull, you won't be pulled. His ult can go through walls.
Have you now?
That's good to know. That was a recent change, actually. Very good change. Ares himself is CC immune during the cast, meaning no CC at all can affect him while he's using this ability. Something else I'm forgetting. Oh yeah, gods who beats the ult at the right time, they still take damage even if they don't get pulled. Unless the Aegis, or have some sort of other damage immunity. Ares is also slowed during this pull. Doesn't seem like it though, really. It does get slowed by 30%. I did look that up. Because it used to be 50% and he changed it to 30% slow. It doesn't really look like it. Maybe that's wrong, but that was on the wiki. Yeah, so what you want to do is you want to pull someone into your team. You can solo pull someone if you know you can kill them, because you can do this. You can do this, for example. You can say Neef has no beads, right? They're the targets you want to pull, really, unless you want to burn beads or CC them in all. Pull them. Chain, 1, 2, chain, 1, 2, chain, 1, 2, 3. And you can do auto and cancel into your 2.
Another amateur contender.
Because you can auto cancel in this game. You auto and you cancel your 2 straight away. It's really useful, and it's one of the top things you need to learn in this game if you want to be good at it anyway. You could pop your 2 before you pull, if you wanted. There's quite a few ways you can do it. You can use it as a auto cancel tool for extra damage, because you get better DPS when you auto cancel instead of waiting for the entire animation. Also, Ares' basic attacks, I should have covered this earlier. I think it's 1, 0.5, 1, and then 1.5. So last one does more damage because it takes longer to swing. His second one takes less damage because it takes less time to swing. You know, something to keep in mind. As for builds, I'm going to be doing conquest builds. You want to go to Sentinel's Gift if you're playing Guardian, support, sorry. And then tier 1, Honor Thebes. And then you'll have like, this is 700, this is 600. So you'll have 200 gold left, which means you have enough for a couple of potions. So you can get 2 mana, 2 health, 3 health, 1 mana. It's really up to you. You could even go multi-pots if you want.
Not ambrosia, but it will do.
You can go multis, but I recommend going like, I would normally go 2 health, 2 mana, or 3 health, 1 mana. Because Ares is a very aggressive god, and you want to be using your abilities as much as you can to poke people. You don't really want to be sitting back as Ares. You're an aggressive support. You're not really a peeler. Let's say you're more of like a setup god. Yeah, builds. Right. So Sentinel's Gift, and when you back for the first time, you'll probably have enough for tier 2 boots.
Can handle this.
But if you have enough gold, you can pick pretty much any boots really. You could go Shoes and a Magi if you want damage. You can go Traveler's Shoes if you want to be faster. But most people nowadays go Shoes of Focus or Reinforced Shoes. Sorry, my dog's barking.
Now I'm ready for
I accidentally sold my items like an actual idiot. Most people go Reinforced Shoes or Shoes of Focus. They're the main 2 shoes you see nowadays on supports. Honestly, it's up to you. No real wrong choice, really. Reinforced Shoes gives you really good tankiness early game and makes you pretty much unkillable, really. And once you finish shoes, you want to go back into Gauntlet of Thebes so you can stack it as quickly as you can. Gauntlet of Thebes is stacked from assists of kills, or getting kills. I think getting kills? Was it assist for kills? Yeah, kills gives you 5 stacks. And when you assist minion kills, you get... Sorry, let me rephrase that. God kills give you 5 stacks. Minion kills don't give stacks. You have to assist the kills for the minions. At max stacks, you get 10 of each protection, and it's an aura item when it's stacked. And it syncs really nicely with Ares' passive, as you see I just lit up there. Next, you might want to either go into Pridwin if you want for cooldown, so you get more looks off.
From those worthy of combat.
You can go Sovereignty if you want for more aura. You could go then Heart Ward if you want more auras. And this is a really strong build, by the way, because you've got your two. You've got the Heart Ward Amulet, Sovereignty, and Gauntlet of Thebes. Not forgetting. Sorry, let me finish this.
Now I am ready
Not
for
forgetting,
battle.
when you finish your build like this, an aura build like this, your two, your Heart Ward, your Sovereignty, your Gauntlet of Thebes, and your Sentinel's Embrace all give protections to allies.
Allies,
So
follow
your
my
team
lead.
is going to see 325 of each. Your team is going to be so tanky, this build. That requires you to be around your team for it to be effective. Last item, you can go. Sorry, I didn't address manual. This slot here, you can go manual. You can go Spirit Robe. You can go Mage Eyes if there's a lot of CC on enemy team. So you like Fenrir ult. Say if you didn't have beads, for instance, had Blink and Earth Emblem, or Blink and Shell, and Fenrir is picking on you to pick you up and then put you into the team. Just go Mage Eyes. So then they have to. He has to either bite the shield or to bite the bubble, or have it removed beforehand. Yeah, that's pretty much
Protect me from
anything you
those
want
worthy
now,
of
really.
combat.
Same for boots. You can sell boots for, I don't know, if you want more damage, you could go Voidstone. If you want to be annoying, you could go Gem of Isolation. Because, obviously buy your speed pot first before you sell your boots. Otherwise you'll be really slow. You could go, I don't know, you could go Ethereal Staff if you
That will make
wanted.
them scream.
If you're, you could just, honestly, anything you want really. I mean, you could go Pridwin as well there. That'd be good. This would be a good build. Let me sell all these. Another build is his damage build. Some Ares players like to be semi-aggressive, supportive players with auras. Some people in Conquest want to
Now I
do
am ready for battle.
damage-ish build. That's even a word. I would go Sentinel's Gift and Druid Stone. And I'd back for either Power Boot or Shoes of Focus. And I'd go into Stone of Binding because Stone of Binding removes protections for with the CC. So your cripple applies this, which means they have 10 less protections. In early game, I reset my level. For Guardian, my base protections is what? 23 and 31, right?
No one can handle this.
If I had this, and if you're hitting like a squishy, like Neath, with say my level, say I'm level 2, say I'm level 3, right? Because level 3 I'd normally have Shackles, level 2, and the Play in my Flames. You have this build, right? Against in level 3 Neath.
No escape.
That's not enough.
Flame.
It's a killing spree out there.
How does she almost... She's level 3, how does she have ult? High resonance bugs. Yeah, most of the time at level 3 you wouldn't have this build because you wouldn't have enough gold. It's just the point I'm trying to make is Zone of Binding against squishies with your chains do a lot of damage. Then you can go into Voidstone if you want more damage.
That will make them scream.
Then you can then go into Gauntlet of Thebes, or you could go the other way around, Voidstone then Gauntlet of Thebes. No, sorry, Gauntlet of Thebes and Voidstone, so you can stack it. You're actually pretty tanky and then do some more damage. The Voidstone and the Stone of Binding. Then I'd go, say, Mantle of Discord.
Protect me from those
Give me
worthy of
some
combat.
cooldown, and then I'd sell my boots for either like Ridwin, because you want to do loads of chains, or you could sell it for Gem of Isolation. Really, anything you want. It's completely up to you.
No one can handle this.
Now this is important. Spectral armor is really good nowadays because loads of hunters are building grit, so do not avoid this item. It's pretty strong. We also have a cooldown build. This is for arena players. In arena, I like to do this. Especially as a newer player, this will be really successful because no one really buys beads. You could go. I normally go Sands of Time because it's troll. Relic Dagger. Choose a focus. Pridwin. You know, I wouldn't go choose a focus actually because I wouldn't be as tanky. I would go reinforced Jew, sorry. And like Genji's guard.
Now I'm ready.
You don't really need Pridwin in this build. And you could go spectral armor or something physical because you already have your magical protection. Could even go Gauntlet of Thebes if you want. And then, I don't know, finish the build up with a mantle. Because a point to make is, when you're Ares, a max rank with full cooldown, full cooldown, actually does this decrease in cooldown per level? No it doesn't. So if you get, so when your cooldown is maxed, it's 9 seconds. Now, your chains, by the way, when you do them right, I'll show you, look. Recent damage dealt, okay? There's nothing in this box, watch. Now you see, 10 ticks, that's 10 seconds of damage. Because it's per 1 second on the damage, right? Now if you use your brain, this is 9 seconds. That's 10 seconds, right? So what I'm saying is, you can infinitely chain someone. Oh, I fucked that up.
No escape.
Well, theoretically you should. Because it does last for 10 seconds. I think you need to do it, like, it has to be like frame perfect to do this, I think. Yeah, I think I missed a tick there, really. I wasn't worried about it too much. Theoretically, you could infinitely chain someone, but I think it's because it's a delay. Do you know there's no delay? I say I think there's a delay on when the ability goes on cooldown. Anyway, if someone procs your Genji card, you can guarantee to infinitely chain someone because this reduces 3 seconds off your abilities. If someone uses Genji's guard while you've got this on cooldown at like 3 seconds or 6 seconds or something, you can then chain again. Which is actually pretty stupid and does a lot of damage. That's it really for the guide. Not really that professional, to be honest. It's my first guide, so that's why it's all over the place. I did write a lot of notes beforehand, which helped me a lot, but please let me know what god you want to see next. Oh yeah, one more thing. Relic Dagger, if you don't know, reduces your relics by 40 seconds. Instead of 140, it'll be 100 seconds when you have this. If you upgrade your Blink rune as early as possible in Arena, I'd say after Relic Dagger, you can keep on, and then go max CDR, you can keep on blink ulting people, because beads is 160 second cooldown, right? Which means you can get 2 ults off with blink, you could pull them twice, pretty much without any playback from the other player, unless they have like a CC immune ult that you use in response. Blink ult, and in the next 80 seconds, or you can blink ult again. You could just get close enough in an ult, which is pretty strong actually for a newer player to know. Then as a meme, I go to alternate timeline in arena because it's a meme. That's about it really. Oh yeah, one fun fact before I go. I didn't know this because this is actually completely useless to know. Completely useless to know. Because there's no I don't think there's any situation really that this comes into play. And it doesn't tell you on the ult either. You see, six targets are highlighted, right? Ares ult caps at 5 gods. Now, would this information be useful? I literally don't know. Maybe some Wukong clone. Maybe some sort of janky shit I'm not thinking of right now. Yeah, that's the max number of gods you can pull, and that's obviously the max an enemy team can be anyway, is 5. So it doesn't really matter. I was just messing around in jungle practice and found out. Yeah, that's the guide. I hope you enjoyed it. Picked Ares because it's kind of a newish player-friendly god. It's pretty cool design. Gets a lot of people's attention. Please let me know on what god do you want to see next. If you liked the video, please leave a like. If you want to think about subscribing, that would help me, and I'll see you next time.